Hey y'all, so this is my second time filming because the first time I sounded really stupid and I just suck at explaining, so I'm kind of a little bit better. But yeah, I got a nose job. So long story short, I got a nose job. The long story, hopefully it's not too long. Essentially, I had a deviated septum. I had like a really bad deviated septum. I had learned that I had one from TikTok because I saw a video of a doctor where he said like stick your fingers in your nose. They should be going like all the way up. If not, then you have a deviated septum. Did that, found out that I have a deviated septum. Because I had a deviated septum, I was constantly getting sick, constantly getting sore throats, couldn't breathe through my nose. When I would breathe through my nose, like if I like one side would just like get stuck, it would be like that, and then this one would just be able to breathe. And then also too, I would be able to crack my nose. I don't even think you're supposed to be able to crack your nose. I think 2022 or 2023 or 2021 was the first time I ever went to the doctor to go see about it. That's when I had kind of brought up too, like, hey, like what about like a nose job? Because I think a little bit before that, there was like a trend on TikTok where if you wanted a free nose job that was covered by insurance, you would go to the doctor, say you have a deviated septum, and then you would get a nose job for free because of the insurance. I was like, oh, well, like what about like a nose job? Because when I was a freshman, so this is where it gets kind of like a little bit tricky, because I always thought that I had a bump on my nose from when I was a freshman. I was playing basketball. Some big white boy came down, elbowed me in my nose and started gushing out blood. I'm pretty sure I broke it. My dad told me like, make sure to ice your nose for like 2 to 3 weeks every day, like multiple times a day, or else you're gonna get a bump on your nose. Now, once did I listen, and then that's when I started to notice that I had a bump on my nose. I was always under the impression that bump came from breaking my nose. So I asked them, I was like, will insurance cover the nose job along with the septo? Septo is basically when they fix your deviated septum. And he said, the insurance will cover the septo, but they won't cover the rhinoplasty. And I said, well, why not? He had said, well, it's because it's considered a cosmetic. I was like, well, I broke it when I was younger. And then that's when he proceeded to tell me that you can't get a bump on your nose from breaking it. So that's what the doctor said. But like when I talk to other people, they have all said like it's either they've been hit themselves, or they have family members or friends who've been hit and then got a bump on their nose. So it's like the doctor says one thing, he's a professional, but like everybody else kind of says the other. I don't know if that's just me trying to justify getting a nose job. That was like in 2022. I never like followed up on it. What ended up becoming an issue for me was the fact that I've kind of always been against plastic surgery. I don't even know if like against, I've just always thought like, you know, nobody really needs it. I just have never always been a big fan of plastic surgery, just because like I feel like people overdo it. You know, they'll get like 8 to like 10 different procedures, and I just always thought like that really shouldn't matter too much. Like you know, at that point, like you're just changing your whole entire look. So that was a big thing, was like I was like, man, like I feel like I'm going against like what I believe in. That was one part. The other part was I didn't want to send like a bad message to the people that support me, to the people that watch me, then that message being, you know, if you don't like something about yourself, change it. I was like a constant like back and forth between like myself, to where I was like, damn, like should I get it, should I not? And there'd be some days where I'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna make the appointment. And then there'd be other days where no, I can't, like I'm not gonna do that, blah blah blah. And then what ended up happening was 3 years later, I'm still on my parents' insurance. And if you guys don't know, when you turn I think 26 or whatever, bro's unk, nah, but when you turn 26 or whatever, you get off of your parents' insurance. That would mean that like I would have to pay for my septo as well, unless I get insurance, which insurance is already as expensive. So I was like, damn, like I need to fix my deviated septum. The past year, it was getting to the point where I was getting sick like 2 to 3 times a month. Like it was just absolutely terrible. I wasn't able to breathe and it sucked. So I was like, I need that fixed. Now the question came down to, should I also get the rhino? What my doctor had told me was if they do just the septo, it would fix 75% of my breathing. If I get the rhino done as well, it would fix 100%. And that's because when you do the septo, they just like they, I don't know, they use like little cameras or whatever, and they just like go in between your nostrils. But if you do the rhino, they cut it up and then they lift it, you know, they do all that stuff, and then they're able to fix it fully. That was actually like a huge thing where I was like, all right, if they're gonna fix it fully with the rhino, and also too, I'm probably gonna like my nose a lot better, fuck it. So I ended up just saying, I went to the doctor, made the appointment, whatever. Yeah, I was super nervous about the appointment. 2 to 3 days before the appointment, I was thinking about canceling it, but I couldn't because I'd already put the down payment. So I was like, I'm not gonna waste money on that. But then I was like, fuck, but then this is like my face we're talking about. Like, what if like I get a botched, whatever. I just like really want to like put emphasis on how much I was thinking about getting a nose job, because I really like didn't want to. What ended up happening was I had to have like a serious conversation with myself, where like I had to tell myself like I don't like my nose, like I'm insecure about it, and you know, if fixing it is gonna make me happier and make me feel a little bit more secure, then you know what, I'll do it. Along with that being like one of them, that was kind of like the cherry on top, along with it just making me breathe a lot better. But I don't want to like put too much emphasis on a lot better, because I still would have been able to breathe a lot better if I just got the septo. What ended up happening was I just like had like a conversation with myself. I was like, I don't like my nose, you know what, if I could fix it, whatever. And I was like, hopefully you guys will understand, or hopefully I just felt like, yeah, whatever. So I got the surgery, woke up, cool. This is me before this was me as soon as the surgery got done. This was me at my worst. This is so funny because the pictures are not actually right here. I'm gonna put them up there in an editing program. It's actually hilarious. And then this was me after I got the cast off. So I'm gonna talk about like stuff that I know people may have questions about. The recovery process, the first week I had the cast on, wasn't bad at all. It just kind of felt a little bit weird. The first day I came back though, my mom accidentally elbowed me in my nose, and that was very scary. Thank God nothing bad came of it. But yeah, she elbowed me in my nose. It was my fault. It was because I was asking her to pet my cat, and my cat's spayed right now. She's sedated. But before that, she was very feisty, and I was like, pet the cat, pet the cat. She's like, no, 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 no. I was like, just pet her. She goes to pet her. Mochi latches onto her, and then my mom reaches back like that, smacks me in the nose. It was not bad. It was not my mom's fault. It was 100% my fault. Thank you to her for taking care of me. Also, thank you to my girlfriend for taking care of me as well. The recovery was not bad, just constantly breathing through your mouth. So then after, you know, you get the splint off, how they take the splint off is they basically like put some solution and stuff, and then they rip it off, and then they rip the stitches off. I was under the impression that that was like the worst pain that you're gonna feel. Like it was, people were like, oh, I've had this surgery, I've broken a bone, and that was the worst pain I've had. It was not bad at all, but because I was listening to what other people were saying based off of their experiences, you know, maybe it is very painful, but my rhinoplasty wasn't like severe. Like there wasn't like crazy changes. All that they really did was just like shave it like that. It wasn't like I got like, you know, like a loop, or like I lift, or like I'm like, oh, like, you know, make this shit your nose skinnier, longer, whatever. It was literally just that. So like my recovery wasn't that bad. I know other people's recovery, like after like 4 weeks, they're still like trying to recover. So they stick like cotton in your nose, and so you have to breathe through your mouth, and they put you at an angle. And as he's ripping it off, I'm expecting it to be like super painful. So I stopped breathing, and I'm like super tense. And when he's like done, he's like, how do you feel? And I told him, I feel like fucking fainting. And he goes, okay, well, I'll be back in a couple minutes. And he like puts me back, and I went like, this was like I've never felt like fainting before. This was the first time I ever felt like fainting. And I was probably like 3 seconds away, if he didn't do that, from fainting. And then I had to apologize to him. I was like, sorry, I'm being a bitch right now. And he said, no, don't worry. Like it happens a lot because of the angle, breathing through the mouth, and then the tension that a lot of people, like they're super tense and they're not breathing at all. So I was like, all right, cool. Getting the stitches off right here at the, whatever this part's called, that shit hurt. Not as bad though. It wasn't like crazy bad. It just kind of feels like pulling a nose hair. It hurt a little bit more for me off of my experience, because he said that I was healing a little bit too fast. So like the skin was kind of, I don't know, etched in with it. So the last one hurt a lot. Just remember that. The worst part about the recovery for me had nothing to do with the nose. It was everything to do with the throat. And that was because when you get anesthesia, they stick like this guiding structure, and then they stick like a tube. Anytime they stick anything down your throat, it has a chance to, you know, cut it or whatever. And then if you have mucus in your throat, and they have to like vacuum it up with the tube or whatever. So essentially what happened was my uvula, it got cut. It was just my tonsils just didn't like having a tube in my throat. And then along with for a week straight after the surgery, not being able to breathe, along with not being able to breathe through my nose and having to breathe through my mouth, sleeping with my mouth open. If you guys don't know, breathing through your mouth is very, very terrible. If you guys breathe through your mouth, please do not try to breathe through your nose. So yeah, I was breathing at night through my mouth, and I would wake up with like my throat just super, super dry, and then also it allows bacteria to get in your mouth. I'm not a doctor, I'm just saying shit I read on the internet. And yeah, that essentially made my sore throat like a million times worse. It got to a point where on my uvula, I had a fat ass blister on the left side, to where like if I would even like lay like that, it would be touching my tonsils, and it would be super painful. I also had it on the top, and I had like 3 or 4 blisters on each of my tonsils. I had probably about that much room to breathe, eat, swallow, whatever. 2.5 weeks after the surgery was when like it finally recovered. But like it was just such a painful experience. I couldn't swallow. I was eating 1 time a day. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink anything cold. Couldn't drink anything hot. It had to be either room temp or a little bit warm. And I was eating 1 pack of ramen with 2 eggs a day. That's all I was eating. That was the most painful part about the recovery, and I fucking hated it. I couldn't even talk. Like it sucked. It sucked so much. So I guess like the final thing is, am I happy with it? Do I regret it? I don't regret it. Am I happy with it? Yes. I'm super happy with it. I'm happy with how it came out, I guess. This is such a superficial video, I feel like. Yeah, I'm happy with how it came out. If you guys are kind of curious, it looks like that from the right side, like that from the left. I don't know if you guys are able to see. And then if you guys are wondering, like, you can't really see, I don't really have a scar. It's kind of there. It's like a little like red, but it's pretty much going away for the most part. The one thing that I am the most happy about is the breathing. I'm still recovering technically. I'm still gonna be recovering for like a year and a half. A year and a half is when I'm gonna be like fully healed. Like like amazing. Like I'm back to normal. I'm gonna be swollen. I'm swollen right now. I don't know if you guys could tell. This lighting's pretty ass. Sorry about that. But like I'm swollen on the bridge right here. I have to use like a saline rinse on my nose morning and night minimum. Sometimes I'll use it 4 or 5 times a day. But after I use that rinse and like throughout most of the day, I'm able to breathe so perfect through my nose. It's honestly like it's life-changing. It's life-changing. Now, like when I breathe, like one's not collapsing on the other, and that in itself is just amazing. Yeah, so that's me getting a nose job. I was just super worried about it, about the message that I would send to people that follow me, that support me, that watch the videos. I still don't want to give a message that if you don't like yourself, you know, change it. But I think what's more important is do whatever makes you happy. If you think, you know, doing something will make you happy, then do it, you know, as long as it's not like illegal and shit. But yeah, I just really didn't want to spread, and it sucks too because like I still want to say like you don't have to, like, don't change anything about yourself, but like I can't talk. I can't talk about any of that stuff because I got plastic surgery, so it's so weird. But yeah, it was just such like a big deal to me for some reason. And afterwards, when I got the surgery, I was like, it's not a big deal. Like, why did I think it was a big deal? But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I know this was not that I hate, but these videos feel like a little bit weird only because I never come with like anything to say, and I want to be kind of entertaining, but I feel like this is like an entertaining topic. I know this is something like a lot of people were curious about. Just thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys want to see more, learn more about my experience with it, then go ahead, add me on Snapchat. It's going to be in the description. Once again, just thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you guys for literally just watching my video. If you're watching this video, seriously, thank you. Like it means the world to me. I love you guys. Peace.